Having community is what allows us to grow at such exponential rates, because as we share with one another, we see and understand more of the experience that we are all a part of. This is Skull Babylon, and you're about to listen to a special Winter Solstice Extravaganza episode of Paradigm Shift Radio, as we welcomed on our good buddy and surprise guest, Jordan Lavigne, onto the show to share some incredibly valuable insights. Jordan has been dedicated for the past several years to helping share knowledge and his personal experiences on specific topics related to intuitive energy work, self-healing, personal development, and more. He provides valuable services and is open to helping anyone through his website at consciousalchemy.wordpress.com. In this episode, Jordan and myself reflect and touch upon where we as humans have been within the last year, how we are opening up to more of a role within the body of this planet, and how we can begin to feel more of our connection to ourselves and the reality around us. Check out and connect with Jordan and watch some of his awesome videos at youtube.com/the Riff Shaman. Thank you for listening to Paradigm Shift Radio and for continuing to progress and learn where you are. Please help share this episode and the information with some friends, continue the conversation, open up to experience, join us again for future episodes, have fun, and enjoy the flow. So, here's a question for you. Where have you been? What have you done? And who are you now? But perhaps, most importantly, where are you going? Just some ideas to think about, because it's always important to reflect. And we'll be doing a bit of that tonight as we celebrate where we have been, where we are now, and where we are going on this special Winter Solstice Extravaganza consciousness shifting episode of Paradigm Shift Radio. Once again, I am your host for the evening, Skull Babylon, captain of the dream team here at ParadigmShiftCentral.com with all the awesome stuff that we got going on. And of course, huge shout out to everybody who's tuned in with us live. We've got 20 people in the live chat. And of course, if you haven't yet, please continue to invite more friends to the show as we continue to get rolling into what is going to be an epic episode for tonight. Though what's going to be on the agenda, I cannot entirely guarantee, because I want you guys to be able to help co-create this show with me. We do not have any particular guests lined up, but that just means there's more opportunity for anybody to be able to get involved with the show, to be able to call in, and to be able to share whatever it is that they feel that they would like to share in terms of expanding one's consciousness of this reality, maybe a particular experience. Maybe you want to tell us, what does the solstice mean to you? What does this Christmas season mean to you? That's always an interesting topic of discussion, because of course it is a time to be able to reflect. It is a time to be able to be brought into the coziness next to the warm fireplace, if that's relative to the temperature that you're in. But shout out to all the people who are listening to us in Australia and celebrating Christmas on a beach somewhere. I know we do have some listeners in Australia, and some of the Paradigm Shift communities are down there as well. And before we do get into some of the callers, I do have a couple of stories of my own that I want to be able to share. Some exciting stuff, some recent shiftivism that me and some friends got up to here in the Paradigm Shift London community, as well as some exciting adventure that I had getting some shift buttons handed personally to Infected Mushroom, which is a psytrance band, musicians, awesome guys who are helping shift consciousness and plant seeds as they go around sharing their love and what they can offer into this reality through epic music and bringing people together to celebrate the fact that we are alive, which is a pretty cool thing. So I want to be able to share that, and of course I just want to be able to remind you guys that if you haven't yet, please check out ParadigmShiftCentral.com. That is this global project that we got going on. And let me see if I can explain it. Every time I explain it, I always explain it a little bit differently, but let's see if I can explain it in like as few words as possible. Less words, more meaning. ParadigmShiftCentral.com is a global interactive project that anybody can get involved with, and it is about collective education and collective inspiration. It is about creating conscious media, and it is about creating a hub and a portal for a bunch of people all across the world who are working together and focusing on creating physical community where they are, which is what the Paradigm Shift communities are all about. And they are focused around creating open-minded discussion and meditation circles, which is pretty similar to what we're doing here tonight. This is really a digital version of what we do with our physical communities, and why we want people to be involved with this, so that they can get a feel, they can get a chance to be able to practice. This is, of course, always about practice. This is about being able to see more of ourselves within other people, being able to hear more ideas, being able to practice not only talking, but being able to practice listening. So that's basically the sum total of it. And of course, check out the main website for a lot of the awesome videos, and of course videos submitted by community members as well. And if you want to submit videos as a community member, you can get involved. All the information is through the main website, and there's a lot of really cool stuff that is happening. So big shout out to everybody who is here tonight, especially if it's your first time tuned in. I'm happy that you made it here. And yeah, this is a project that's been going on for over 5 years now. So in terms of reflecting on where Paradigm Shift has been as a project, it's definitely come a long way, and I think it's evident to it's a good evidence to the fact that when you set your intention, you can manifest. And that's something that I'm sure we'll be talking about here tonight, and I would love to get some particular people onto the air with us. I know our good friend Jordan Lavigne is joining us in the live chat as it is right now. I think he's got to go get his hair cut or something, but he may be back in time to join us later in the show or whenever it is. But stay tuned, because I think he did mention that he is going to be calling in. He's one of my good buddies, and actually way back in the day, he actually got the ball rolling with Paradigm Shift Barrie, Ontario. So it's really cool to have been able to see his path and my path sort of evolve, and how they've been interweaving and helixing, and just the lives that we've been touching and connecting with people. It's really, really cool stuff. So in addition to that, the shift buttons are an amazing thing. Okay, so Jordan is here. He's just got to wait to get his haircut. So confirmation on that. So in addition to that, I do want to be able to share with you guys that we do got a couple new things going on just in terms of community news. We got a new funding project happening at GoFundMe.com/ParadigmShiftCentral. And what this is, in addition to supporting this project here, and by supporting that means helping pay for the web hosting costs and also the production costs, it is being able to transform through the source of alchemy, through the means of alchemy, being able to transform the funds that we generate into the shift buttons, which are the buttons that have the consciousness shifting symbols, the same ones that I gave to Infected Mushroom. And they're great for giving as gifts, and they're great for giving as gifts, and they are great for using as tools to help be able to build community where we are, by hacking the matrix and by being able to break social norms, by being able to walk up to people who we barely even know, who are strangers, and be like, here, I have a gift for you. Have this awesome button. Check the website out on the side of the button. It's this really cool project. They got a radio show that they do every week, and it might shift your paradigm, so to speak. And then feel free to start up a conversation from there, and then you make a new friend on the spot. And that's the guarantee that we say, is that with the shift buttons, we guarantee that you'll make new friends once you sort of have them, because the universe will recognize that they're in your possession, and then synchronistically people will be brought into your path, and it'll just create an awesome opportunity for you to have fun. They're an extremely fun thing to be able to use within this reality. They accelerate your adventure in a lot of ways. So GoFundMe.com/ParadigmShiftCentral. If people can donate to that, then we're going to be giving more and more shift buttons away with every episode that we do here at Paradigm Shift Radio. Right now, as it is, we have raised $50, which is awesome. And if we can raise a couple more dollars before the end of the show, then we are going to be giving away 2 batches of shift buttons. Right now, the plan is just to give away 1 batch. But if we can raise a little bit more money by the end of the show, a little bit more space cast by the end of the show, then we will be giving away 2 batches of free shift buttons. And the way that you can get involved with the draw to win free shift buttons is simply send a message to Facebook.com/ParadigmShiftRadio. Tell us a little bit about how you found out about the show, what you think about it, and just tell us how excited you would be to be able to get some buttons. And of course, if you want to still be able to support this project, you can always order buttons through the main website at ParadigmShiftCentral.com/buttons, and those will give you buttons more immediately, and you'll be able to choose from the selection within the catalog there. And people who do donate to the GoFundMe, there is the option that you will be helping other people get shift buttons for free, and you will also be getting a batch for yourself in the future once the adequate funds are garnered. So it's this really interesting way of using source funding and using crowdfunding to be able to help accelerate this project, because the more shift buttons that we get out there, the more support that we garner for this project, the more it accelerates the way that this consciousness shifting project is reaching out into the world and touching lives. And there's a lot of awesome stuff that we had happen within our community of Paradigm Shift London within the last couple of days, and I want to be able to tell you that story, and I'm sure you guys don't mind. I mean, you guys who have tuned into the show are usually quite interested in hearing the like, let me tell you, man, like, I get into some weird shift. Like, I really do. Once you start going out there and interacting with the people in your community. But I just want to mention that if anybody wants to call into the show, please feel free to call in now. Right now, there's nobody in the queue, so this is me just using this opportunity to share the story that I was going to share with you anyways. But I do want to remind people to call in now. You can call in using Blog Talk, or you can call in using Skype through Blog Talk. Click the Skype icon, make sure that your Skype is launched, and it will be able to sync you into it, or be able to use a regular phone number off a regular phone. Call in at 347-539-5493, and that information is in the Blog Talk link that you're listening to the show through. So, but yeah, so what me and my friends got up to, and this actually happened. Okay, well, this happened after the Infected Mushroom show, but okay, long story short with the Infected Mushroom story, because there isn't really too much to that, but it's just another example tying in with the buttons of how you can use the buttons. So I'll tell you how I did that. So these buttons, they like I said, they're an awesome way to be able to connect with people, and I've been using them for a while, and it's really interesting because it really. It lets you sort of test your observation skills and really feel out your intuition. So Infected Mushroom, they're this psytrance band. They've been around for quite a while. Just run a search on Infected Mushroom. One of their big songs is like Cities of the Future, one of my favorite songs. It's actually featured in the first movie that I did, Journey to the West, if anybody recognizes it from that. But this crowd that they brought together within London, because it was really interesting. It wasn't a big venue. It was a very small venue, and it really brought together a lot of conscious people within the London, Ontario community into this one spot, and I knew that they were going to be there. So I geared myself up. Like, I had my Jedi shirt on, which I actually is the same Jedi shirt that I got in the Journey to Rockmont movie, which is another movie, and all through the website you can find it there. And so I was wearing my Jedi shirt, and I had like a bunch of buttons on me. Like, I had them down my sleeve, like on my hat, on my chest, like down my up through my the middle of my chest. Like, I had different ones resonating with the different chakras. I had one with like the crown, like the heart, and the solar based on the color. And I had a bunch in my pocket, and of course I also had button swag. I also had a bunch of the pamphlets on me too, and the pamphlets just basically linked people directly to the invitation for the regular discussion groups that we have here in London every Friday, downtown Yoga Studio, 236 Dundas Street. So I was going around and I was using my intuition to really keep my observation skills open. And I was sober during this whole process. And I would go into the crowd, like doing my dancing and everything, and then I would keep my eyes open. And I'd be looking for people. I would be reading their body language. I would be reading them like with more than just my eyes, so to speak. And I would be able to observe like aspects of them to be able to say, like, is this person going to be the person who's more receptive to a button? Because I didn't have enough buttons to give to everyone. If I did, I would give them to everyone, but that's not the case. I only had about 30 on me within my pockets and everything. And so, like, example, like the first guy who I gave a button to, I was like in the crowd up near the front, and first of all, I saw on his shoulder, he had this really interesting tattoo on his shoulder. So the tattoos, if you see people with tattoos, usually tattoos are a great way to sort of exemplify someone's soul. If they have a tattoo that's a very symbolic tattoo, that is a very interesting way to be able to identify. Like, more and more people are getting tattoos of like sacred geometry and stuff. So his tattoo, it wasn't sacred geometry, but it was very, it was circular. It was really cool. And anyways, he was standing there, and he wasn't dancing in the traditional sense, but he was like playing air drums, and he was like, and then I was like, the music was really loud, but I just go up to him and I'm just like, yo man, like, here, like, pick a button. And basically the way how I do it, I don't just give them one button, because half the fun is you want to be able to present them with choice. And again, the reason why I'm explaining this story is because I want people to get excited about buttons and get some ideas about how they can use the buttons where they are to connect with people in their community and to have awesome adventures where they are as well. But I pull out 3 buttons from my pocket, so I show him 3 buttons in front of me, and I'm just like, yo man, like, choose a button, it's yours. And he's like, what, really? And I was like, yeah, go ahead. And he's like, cool. And then I think he chose the Eye of Ra one. And then I was like, yo man, like, are you really interested in music and stuff? And he's like, yeah. And I'm like, are you really interested in like cymatics and everything? And he's like, yeah man. And I was like, yeah, then you're probably interested in like thoughts creating form and everything's vibration and stuff, right? And he's like, oh my god, yes man. And then I'm just like, cool, check the website, dude, woo. And then we're just like, you know, obviously I'm like, we're having to scream because the music was just so awesome. But again, like, that was an example. And then he was the first person. Then I went around the rest of the night, and literally throughout the rest of the night, like, not only was I there to have an amazing time for myself, but I was there to be able to connect with other people and to be able to get them synced up with this community that I know. And again, like, I'm not trying to pick and choose, but I'm trying to like align more so with like what person would be more receptive to this information. Like some people, I mean, they're at a different place on their path, but some people you can tell they're like already interested in things like meditation, lucid dreaming, consciousness expanding ideas, the things that they never really got taught in school, which is a big part about what this show is about, is creating a space where we can have those conversations and be able to practice learning about those things. So then, I mean, long story short, yeah, I just went around and I was just like bouncing off people and having these cool conversations and getting people synced up. So of course, a huge shout out to anybody who was listening to the show tonight who are amongst the people who I met that night during Infected Mushroom. And then the other part of the story was my objective to be able to get a button to Infected Mushroom themselves. And the great part about this was that since it was a small venue, since it was such a small venue, it was a very, very unique situation. And once the show died down, the two guys who were the DJs and stuff of Infected Mushroom, they came down and they were like sitting on the stage and they were talking to us, like the people who were left over, and there weren't too many of us. So I was like, oh, awesome, you know. And then I just like went up to them and I shook their hand, and like as I shook their hand, I had my button in my hand, and I was just like, you know what, like, just thank you so much for doing this. It's really like really appreciative of you being here, because a big part of what made this show awesome is the fact that the visuals that they had on the screen behind them and in front of them were all mandalas. They were all like fractal, like mandala, sacred geometry, like related. So it's really interesting because like when you think about people standing there and they're just watching this show, whether they are consciously aware of it or not, when they see mandala patterns and everything, it is like just warping them and connecting them with some sort of like potential higher awareness, remembrance of higher consciousness in some form or another. I mean, it's hard to just like not have something experience, whether it be conscious or subconscious, when you're standing there and you're just staring into a giant visualizer of a mandala like for 3 hours straight while listening to music and vibing with good vibes. So I was saying, you know, like really just like thank you so much for being here tonight, because apparently they weren't supposed to be in London. They sort of changed their plans and stuff, and then they booked it last minute, and it was like a $10 show, which was like part of the awesome part about it. And again, I just thanked them so much for being there. I told them to like check out the website and stuff, and you know, if it plants that seed, they're busy guys. I mean, if we can get them on the radio show in the future, that would be amazing. I mean, no expectations, but yes, the intention is there, the seed is planted, and we'll see where it goes. And again, I just really thank them for what they do to be able to bring more love into this world. And the one guy is really cool, because like the one guy, the bald guys, it's weird because I don't know their names, I honestly don't, but like he was really communicating with the crowd, and that's something that any good professional performer really does. And he was just like, he was doing a lot of stuff where he was like having his hand on his chest and like basically like saying like I see you and like love, and he was just projecting like all this awesome stuff into the audience, and it was really cool. So that was my experience. That was something that I just wanted to share with you guys. That was a really cool experience. I mean, it's hard to say whether or not Infected Mushroom will ever be in London again and will ever be in a show where I know that many people all in one spot. And it was just a great place for like us as a soul family to come together. It was really cool. It was just such a great experience, so I'm happy to share that with you. And then the other story that I want to share, but I'm not going to spend too much time sharing it because there is a video that you can check out. Go to ParadigmShiftCentral.com and just scroll down a bit, and you guys will see a new video that I put up called How to Shift Paradigms, Free Hugs and Conscious Sign Holding. And this is something that me and my buddies did on December 20th, which is right next to December 21st. Last year we did it on December 21st, but we've done it a bunch of times in between, where we go out downtown with free hugs and conscious signs that say open your heart, and as you think, so shall you become, and being able to give out pamphlets to more people and standing on a street corner and giving out free hugs and just promoting love and just getting that interference pattern out there into the matrix and being able to change the world. And we did it. There's a video of it. You can check it out online. I want more people to be able to do this where they are. I want them to be inspired, to be able to take action where they are. Yes, it's important to be able to talk about all these interesting theories, but when we embody it, when we can carry it with us, and we can turn it into love and be able to change the lives of those around us, that's when it's really making a big difference. I've said this in the past episode, yes, your life path is important, but it's equally as important as to how you choose to interrelate your life path with somebody else's life path. So It's a really, really exciting thing to do, and of course, you can find out all the tools through the main website. I usually mention that all the time. And just a quick example, like that night, we ran into our good buddy, our new good buddy, Manny, and he recently moved here from India, and he's in the video. You see him, and then he came out to the meeting like that night that we had our open discussion meeting, and it like right there and then, like it changed his life, and now he's synced up with the community. And shout out to Manny if he's listening to the show, which I'm sure he will be, whether now or in the future. And Manny, if you are listening to the show, please feel free to call in. I would love for you to call in. But again, so I mean, yeah, that's really just some of the awesome stuff that I myself have been involved with. And of course, if you want to just check out more of that, go to my YouTube, youtube.com/SkullBabylon. Tell your friends about your favorite neo-gonzo journalist and how they should check out and support his work, aka the stuff that we're doing, because I want to help manifest more gonzo journalists and stuff. So I did just see Jordan Lavigne calling into the live chat, and I do just want to be able to double check with him. And hold on 1 second, guys. Try again, Jordan. I'm just like talking in the chat because he literally was there and then he dropped. But if not, we do have potential other people that we can be bringing into the show. But of course, reminder to anybody else, if you guys want to be brought onto the show, because from here on, I mean, now that I sort of just brought you up to speed in terms of the community news, and let me just keep an eye on the funding for the funding page, because I want to be able to see if we can get some more funding for that by the end of the episode. Then we'll be able to give away 2 batches of shift buttons, which would be incredibly awesome, because I know we're going to be changing lives with every person who receives those buttons. So let me see what we got here. Opening that up. I think we're still at... It's loading. Anyways, what's Jordan saying? Is Jordan calling back in? I think he's got to go get a haircut, I think. Okay, Jordan is trying to call in, so we're gonna be able to see if that syncs up properly. And yeah, just again, shout out to 27 people who are joining us in the live chat. So 1 second, guys. Let me just play up. I just want to hold on. Let me just give me a little second here. I got some. Where do I got? I was gonna play. Should I play some quote from Yoda? Should I do that? Because I know it's like still in my soundboard from another time. Whereas I got like so much stuff in my soundboard. Yeah, shout out to everybody in the live chat. Confirmation buttons are fun. Epic stuff. Where's that Yoda clip? Hold on. I'll just run a search. Boop. There it is. Okay. All right. Let me just check in. Try again. You're not in the queue. Here. I'm just gonna. I just want to see. Oh, that's like a 1 minute clip. What? Okay. Never mind. Jordan's here. So shout out to Yoda. Maybe we can bring him on later. So I'm gonna bring on Jordan now, and then we're gonna get rolling with that. And of course, if you haven't checked out Jordan's stuff yet, you can do it. It's at the Riff Shaman on YouTube, so I'll post a link for that into the live chat and get everybody synced up for him. And he's got other awesome stuff that you can check out through his website at Conscious Alchemy. And oh, sweet, we did get a donation. So the donations are at $72 in the Paradigm Shift Central free button fund. So that means that with that, like that does. Promise to my word, we are going to be giving away 2 free shift batches of shift buttons later in on the show. And again, send a message to facebook.com/ParadigmShiftRadio if you want to be able to get your name in that draw for that. And I'm curious, who donated? Who donated to that? We had, Monica donated. Oh, sweet. Yeah, Monica, our Paradigm Shift Chicago admin, she donated $22, and she said, "May these buttons aid in synchronicity and adventure for all who receive them." So thank you, Monica. You're awesome. So, but of course, if we can raise more funds, honestly, guys, like if we raise more funds, then we give away more buttons. So we'll try and cap it off at maybe like the most 3 batches per episode, because we want to save some for future episodes. But if you guys want to donate more now, then that's just like epic stuff, and we'll just continue to add to that. So love to see more funds getting raised from that. Love to see more lives getting changed. But in the meantime, let's bring on our good buddy Jordan Lavigne, and he's been on past episodes of Paradigm Shift Radio. So it's been a while since we've heard from him. He's got a lot of exciting stuff going on in his life, and I'm looking forward to hearing what he has to share. So, Jordan, if you're ready, going to bring you back onto Paradigm Shift Radio. Here we go. Hello, Jordan. Can you hear me?
Hello, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can. Loud and clear. Perfect. Awesome, man. Welcome to our exciting solstice extravaganza celebration that we got going on here, man. So... So let me just open up this opportunity for you, man. What would you like to bring to the show? And of course, please feel free to just introduce yourself to the people listening and some of the work you're involved with.
Yeah, totally. Well, yeah, I'm open to sort of reciprocating anything that's brought up, any conversation that goes on. But in general, I'm Jordan, the Riff Shaman on YouTube. You can look up my stuff, www.consciousalchemy.wordpress.com if you want to look at stuff that I do and my services and whatnot. I'm into a lot of different things, a lot of different different modalities of energy healing and body work and shamanism and all those different types of wacky, crazy things. And yeah, I like helping people, and I like assisting people in realizing how powerful they are, how powerful we all are, and allowing people to recognize their innate ability to heal themselves and to alter their experience in their environment, and really how simple everything is, because a lot of people that get onto this spiritual path, or whatever you want to call it, everything seems so complicated, everything seems so crazy and new, but when you really get down to it, it's all just so simple. It's so, everything's amazing and beautiful, and yeah, tons of stuff going on, and yeah, so that's my introduction.
Right on. I posted a link for consciousalchemy.wordpress.com, and of course you can check out more Jordan's work there and support him in his ongoing endeavors to change the world. So, Jordan, let's sort of reflect together. I mean, kind of looking back on like a year ago from where we were, because I mean, like sort of joked about this last episode, but some people might remember there was a lot of commotion about the whole December 21st date going on last year. I don't really know what that was all about, though. Not too sure, but Jordan, what do you think? I mean, in terms of like where we were last year, like do you see a difference in like a global scale, like a personal scale? Like where do you see that change having occurred?
Well, I can definitely see that things are growing and, evolving as they always are. I think maybe the whole hype about the experience actually led to a lot more growth and people sort of looking into things and expanding their mind and opening to new perspectives. Like the actual idea of there being a shift, or this whole 2012 thing, it got people interested, which is important. A lot of these things, even there's that stuff about spirit science going on the Facebook chats today, and none of nothing that is going on, and none of the stuff that people talk about, none of the teachers are bad or really wrong, especially just to listen to and to absorb and to as long as you're questioning, and that's the big thing. It got people questioning. They're like, what is this? What's going on? Like, and then they look into it, and they're like, wow, there's some people out here talking about some really crazy stuff. Like, even if they don't believe that, and even if they don't make it a part of their life directly, they start questioning, they start looking into things, which is important, even if it's just political and, socioeconomic and all the stuff that's happening in the world and environmental stuff. People start looking into things, which is important. So I think that was probably as much of the December 21st thing as any sort of energetic event that happened. I personally think that the actual solar activity and the energetic shift that's happening has more to do with the actual solar polarity shift that's happening fairly soon. I think it has more to do with that than any date. Any date was kind of just people calling out a date just because they could, to get people hyped up and excited, or to market their stuff or whatever. But in the end, it's all good. People started looking into things. People started getting, maybe some people got like afraid or whatnot, and were like, oh my God, end of the world. But people started getting excited. It caused internal movement to start happening. When people are apathetic and stagnant and neutral and on the fence about things, that's really no good. So whether you're getting afraid or angry or, interested, excited, there is movement happening. And you can see that internally people felt it, and externally in our environment, in the world, we started seeing people connect more. We saw a paradigm shift grow, just huge leaps and bounds, and all sorts of the ways that people connect and come together to really do something about our perceived issues and problems. Everybody started, whether they know for sure what's going on or not, we know that we need to cultivate balance and harmony. So it's good that people really got interested in that.
Yeah, absolutely. Like I do agree, and actually just kind of want to backstep a little bit there, because I mean, there's actually a couple things I wanted to hit upon, but what you were talking about, like you're saying like the solar polarity event and stuff like that. Is that something that you can maybe explain a little bit more about? Because I mean, that's something that I know you're usually you're paying attention to stuff like that, like the idea of how like the sun's energy is actually affecting the events on the planet, and how like the subtle, I mean, well, it's not even subtle in some cases, but the energy that is like coming into our environment, how that is like changing who we are on some level or another. But I mean, what do you think, or what were you trying to explain there? Just like inform the listeners by what you meant by that event.
Well, yeah, basically, as in every approximately 11 years, the sun shifts its polarity, and obviously, a lot of people know from looking into the Mayan calendar and all that type of stuff that there's cycles and patterns going on, cycles within cycles. So there are many of these solar events that happen, every 11 years, and that's grouped into another large group of years, and then there's like the 6 and whatever, 1,000-year cycle, the 12,000-year cycle, 26,000-year cycle. A lot of people have heard of that type of stuff. But what's actually going on within those cycles is that, and it has a little bit to do with where astrology comes from, and a lot of different things. But the sun obviously brings life to Earth. Its energy, no matter how, if you think about the subtlety of the vibration, a lot of times the most subtle vibrations and the most subtle elements of reality are what have the most prominent effects, even if they're not noticeable to people who aren't paying attention. But I try and, like I said, I try and pay attention, and I feel into it, and that's much more important than reading or researching or doing anything. Is feeling, connect with the sun. What do you feel? It brings us life here in combination with Mother Earth, so it's really important to have at least somewhat of a connection with it. So obviously, if the sun shifts its poles and basically, north becomes south, south becomes north, the energy that is bringing us life has renewed. And if it comes every 11 years, so some people might be like, oh, well, why is this one important? But like I said, there are cycles within cycles. Many of you know that there is like a culminative cycle, and that within a couple years, a little bit before 2012, December 21st, and a little bit after, there's, these culminations, all of these shifts, all these cycles ending and beginning and ending and beginning and ending and beginning. And the sun just happens to be one of those cycles that's very directly connected to us and is ending soon. It could be within a couple of weeks that the polarity changes. So that energy, the energy that's influencing us and feeding into our DNA and helping us grow, and it's partially, it has a large influence on how we're physiologically evolving and how our bodies are manifesting, how our minds work, how our emotions flow through us. So when it shifts polarity, obviously it has a magnificent impact on all aspects of ourselves. And largely it's internal. The sun is obviously, you can see it as something outside of you, but it's everything that we look out into space at is within us. So there's a huge amount of transformation going on within us. And basically what I like to help people with is facilitating that. If there are new, more strong vibrations hitting the planet, if the actual vibration of Earth and the sun are changing and rising, and all of the different elements that are affecting us right now are shifting, there's more powerful or more subtle vibrations coming in, we need to allow those to pass through us. And this is this whole ascension process, if you want to call it that. It's just our growth. It's how everything is affecting us. It's how we are affecting everything else. So if we choose to remain stagnant and to remain neutral, to remain clogged up with all our beliefs and physiologically our bodies and the health of our bodies, and also clogged up with these ideologies and belief systems that are unnecessary, clogged up with emotional energies, then this life that wants to move through us, that wants to make us more alive, that makes us grow, that makes us want to shift and change and create something different. If we don't go along with that, then parts of ourselves will start to react very, there's a dissonance, there's a disharmony that's created because we're refusing to move with life. So this whole ascension process and everything that's changing is just life, forcing us basically to live. Life is saying, hey, come on, guys, you've been dabbling around in this, constant death thing, this constant destruction thing for a long time. Death and destruction are, of course, part of life. They're important. There's a balance there, but we've been so out of balance that life is pushing us to live. It's pushing us to go, hey, wake up. The earth needs you. The sun needs you. Everything needs us. We are these powerful cells on the body, which is earth. And if we don't, start healing ourselves physiologically, energetically, all the same thing, really. If we don't start emptying our cups, so to speak, then we're not going to be filled with this life, which is, wanting to serve us so that we can in turn, serve the earth and serve each other.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the one thing that I'm always extremely fascinated by is just like the immense precision of the clockwork of the universe, so to speak, and the idea that like something such as a sun is so innate to the evolutionary process of like a planet, whether it be in this solar system or another solar system. Because I'm always fascinated by the idea that like what is happening here with the idea of like humans growing on Earth theoretically could have happened in other solar systems in different ways with different civilizations. I'd kind of be curious to even just get your thoughts on that, like the idea that for me, innately, I feel that like the human form, the idea with like 2 legs, 2 arms, and eyes, and that sort of shape is almost like a standard blueprint, a standard vehicle blueprint for consciousness to create for itself to exist within, so that it can experience like the experience of whatever planet it may be choosing to be on. But what I was just sort of getting at is the idea that like how interesting it is that like with all the stuff happening on Earth and everything right now, like it is not separate from the events that are happening within the sun. And also what you were saying, I like the idea that a lot of people will just be like, oh, this is just woo-woo, like, like, what are you talking about? I feel the exact same today as I felt yesterday. The thing that is preventing people from opening themselves up to those different experiences, like, is, like, the mental and the emotional blockages that they have built up in their life. And this is something that even, like, Kurt was talking about, like, previously on a past episode when we had him on, the idea that, when you sort of become conscious, like, you almost have to spend a good while clearing out like the backlog of like built up like extra crap files that you've been just gathering over your entire life up to that point, that as you start to sort of clear out that unnecessary garbage, as you start to ask the questions of figuring out like not only figuring out who you are, but figuring out who you are not, and moving closer to what it means to be your authentic self, and just being like more in line with that that like cosmic sovereignty in some way or another. But yeah, like again, like I'm not really, just don't really just think that I'm just gonna like ask you a question, Jordan, but just sort of like bounce some ideas off with me here, like in a sort of co-host sort of sense. But just going back to the one idea what I mentioned, like what do you even think about the idea of like, do you think Earth is just like this solitary dot in the middle of nowhere and we're all by ourselves, or do you sort of have this feeling that there's other human-like entities elsewhere out in the galaxy who may theoretically be watching us in some way or another?
Oh, well, there's, I guess this is entirely my perspective. No, I can't make anyone else believe this, but there's definitely, you know, similar, like I said, we're cells on this planetary body, and any planet that has been allowed and allowed itself to grow to a certain point needs a certain type of, maybe I'll call us like bridge cells, to bridge certain elements of what is creating it and what's being created. Just like the human body has developed all sorts of different types of cells to allow it to be the way that it is, to allow our immune system to work well, to allow all of our bodily systems to work in harmony. We need all of these different aspects of what are really the same thing. You know, we're all the same as, you know, what a plant is and what an animal is. And a lot of people think of what a being is in terms of just its physiology and what it looks like and what it seems to be when we look at it, you know. But all plants, all animals, and of course humans have purpose. We were created for a purpose, and personally, I feel, I don't want to say I believe or I think, but I feel and I see that humans were like cells, and if there are other humanoid beings, they were created for a similar purpose on other planets that needed just the right energy for that, you know, environment, that atmosphere, to be connected and alive at a certain level. But we personally as humans are like environmental, what we're meant to be. It kind of went backwards for a little while, and this is kind of like a learning process or something. But we are balancers. We create harmony. We bridge heaven and earth, so to speak. And by doing that, we have the potential, and I think that we used to in maybe like the Lemurian and Atlantean times and you know, ancient human cultures on Earth, were the ones that could perceive at the right level to create not only balance and harmony, but a massive amplification of life force and growth and expansion. We are like the amplifiers of evolution. We are like magnifying lenses of what has been created in an environment. So Earth, Gaia, and all of what's on it is this incredibly complex, beautiful, amazing, just crazy cool environment. And not a lot of planets are like that. You know, there might be very Earth-similar planets out there, and I think that they can evolve to the same, you know, sort of place that Earth is with a humanoid culture. But we're here because Earth needs us, just like we need our antibodies in our bodies that take care of an invader or something like that. We are perceptive enough to see how things are growing and how things are evolving and how we can better that. We're creative. That's what kind of sets us apart from animals and plants a little bit, is that we have this enormous creative capacity, and that comes from this connection to spirit and earth, matter and energy. You know, it's all the same thing really, but we are enough of a bridge to be able to really change things. And whether, you know, it kind of went sour, so to speak, you know, we haven't been acting very well on this planet and doing a very good job with that for a long time. But in a way, it can be just what the planet needs. And I think that it is, even though it seems like such negative stuff that we've been doing, such dark, weird, crazy, evil things that have gone on in the last, you know, couple thousand, maybe 6,000, 10,000 years. It's that darkness and it's that turmoil or that chaos, which is actually going to be, it's like we're churning the soil. It's like we're creating an environment that can actually create more change, more life, you know, because it takes death and darkness to know life and growth and change. So we are these incredibly complex beings that are, we just have so much potential to animate worlds, basically, to create, whether it's, it's perceived as good or bad. We take a planet to the next, as humanoids, as what you were saying, like these humanoid beings, they take a planet to the next level, sort of. It's like we are part of that body that allows it to grow, just like if you could think of one planetary body as something that may, and I'm not saying that this happens, but if you could think of something that starts from like a lifeless rock, like a moon or an asteroid, and actually turns into something that can harbor bacteria and algae, and then plant life, and then aquarium life, and plants and animals. All of a sudden, if it gets to that point, it can go farther and farther and farther and farther, but it needs humans as sort of like that linchpin to get it there, or humanoid being of some sort. I don't know. I'm just musing on it.
No, I agree, and I think it really helps put things into perspective. I mean, oftentimes we get so centered on our own individual personality that we sort of forget our duty, like our role within the bigger body of things, within like the Mother Earth, the Pachamama, and to be able to think that like we are a part of this system. So reflect and ask, like, are you doing what you can to help the entire body evolve, to be able to do what, if a cell a cell within our body, I guess because of the conscious level that it exists on, it doesn't really exist with a sense of like free will. Like a white blood cell will do what a white blood cell is supposed to do, and as long with everything else. And when we are given this opportunity of free will, it seems that we have a choice to sort of neglect our duties, so to speak. So I guess my question is kind of tying back within this theme of where we are, where we're going, sort of thing. Where do you really see us? Like, I mean, you already sort of touched upon this, but where do you see us right now, and tying that in with our potential, and where do you see us going into future-wise?
Right on. Well, there's like so much possibility. Like I said, we are like the benefactors of possibility, of creativity, of possibility. So there's a lot that we can do. But generally right now, and this kind of goes along with a little bit of what Kurt talks about. He talks about it like in a very biological, physiological, scientific way, and that's why I dig what he talks about a lot, because he talks about what I experience and what I teach in a very scientific, an understandable way for people who have that sort of mindset. Basically, how I see it right now, we need to turn ourselves on. We need to become the bridge that we are. Of course, we can choose to neglect that, and that is part of the creative process. There's a lot of purpose to that. And I don't know I don't know all everything about that. I don't know why we have had this potential to create so much damage as much as we have the potential to create life. But when we speak about creating life and growing and evolving into the future, I see us becoming sort of like the superhuman that we all sort of fantasize about. Like everything that we dream of being possible, we can create. Not even technologically, although there's amazing, technology that's possible to create, but our bodies, we have to come back to our bodies and get back in touch with how amazing this biotechnology that we're walking around in is. When we turn this thing on, when we turn on our bodies, when we amplify our energies and get grounded and rooted here, like I said, we become that bridge of heaven and earth. We become a true conduit, although it's always happening a little bit, at least, for us to even be here and be alive. When we open ourselves and connect with the planet and the cosmos, we basically begin to create a an inner fifth dimensional environment, like a higher dimensional reality within ourselves. We start to heal automatically, just like the body wants to do. We start to exhibit more and more of those qualities and characteristics of all the most amazing human beings that we see on Earth right now. Like Wim Hof, the Iceman, he can climb Mount Everest in just some boots and some shorts with no oxygen.
Yeah.
People die doing that, with clothes and with oxygen. There's all sorts of people all over the world. There are Bagua, like Qigong masters, who are literally so grounded in their body and so highly electromagnetically active that they can push people away before they even reach them, from meters away, from a foot away. They can push someone onto the ground or shock their entire body. And the actual benefits of that as the sort of cell that we are on this planet is that even in the simplest way, just through meditating or playing with your energy or just feeling your body scanning, yoga and Qigong are sort of paths that facilitate this. But when we open and connect like this, we start to bring that inner environment out around us. We begin to radiate our energy, and that has such profound effects on the environment. Personally, I've experienced like clearing the sky of clouds just with the brush of a hand, creating rain out of nowhere, literally pulling down like I would pull on a rope, pulling down a low pressure system and making it rain. And there's obviously other forces that I'm working with in order to do that, but each human is, our potential is amazing. And when we just get into our body, connect and sort of clear away the mental clutter, calm down the nervous system and all that, that static that is usually stuffed into us, and we're radiating and we're feeling that instead of feeling the body, feeling the mind, feeling the field around us in our environment. When we connect and sort of melt into the environment, that's literally how we change the world. That is ascension. That is the shift. It's all on us. It's not some process where some aliens are going to come get us and fly us away from the planet. Right. Some crazy weird stuff is going to happen, and everything's just going to blow up into a ball of light, and we all turn into light beings or something like that.
Yeah.
We are already that if we choose to be, if we choose to recognize ourselves in that way, if we choose to feel our being, our physiology, our body as this electrical, energetic, magnificent tool, basically, Tool, the band Tool is all about us being the selves, us being the tools that are here to fix the planet, We fix things. We're like the humanoid beings that are being created and have been created are like these little energetic mechanics things. We create balance. Just our presence creates harmony. And we are, somebody said, describe feeling. Describe feeling. That's an interesting one. I could probably go on a little hour binge about that. But, that's a whole other conversation.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, no, you've definitely hit upon some really key things there, and yeah, like I like the idea of sort of thinking of this body as having like divine technology. It's kind of a term that I've sort of used to describe it myself personally, and like I guess like that would just be something. Well, first of all, let me ask you, how much time are you able to stay with us? Like, do you need to go get your haircut right away, or what's the?
No, like. I'm getting my hair cut right here outside the room that I'm in. I'm not it's good. That's good.
Okay, cool. All right, so if you're not in a rush, then I would love to just sort of chat a little bit more. And we do have some other callers in the queue, if you do want to be brought onto the air, press 1 on the keypad to let us know, and we will bring you onto the air in the next little bit. And then maybe if you have some sort of questions, then we can all sort of approach them together. But just kind of going back to what you were saying, because I mean that's the thing that I love about the work that you present, is that you are so much about like the experience. You're about like learning through the experience and creating those experiences for ourselves. And even the stuff that you're talking about, being able to like change weather patterns with your thoughts. I mean, pop culture wise, some people may be familiar with like the movie Men Who Stare at Goats, and there's like that scene when George Clooney, when he does like cloud bursting and sort of thing. And a lot of people would just think that's a joke. They would think it's just like, you know, just something for a movie. But I think even from your own experience, you would say that like, no, there is something to that. But I mean, I guess my question here, and then after this we'll bring a caller on, is to just be able to like give some examples, some simple examples. I mean, I know you're obviously, you can talk about like the Tai Chi type stuff, the Qigong type stuff, and that's what I would love to hear as well. Just some examples of how people can like, after listening to the show, can bring a practice that can help them become more in tune with that feeling, with more in tune with the tool, with the body that they are. And even like, I mean, just as a theoretical example, like if somebody was like taking a shower right now or something, if you were like in a shower, I always find that being in a shower is a really nice meditative place to sort of tune in with that experience. I don't know if you ever think that yourself, but yeah, there's any response to that you got would be great.
Yeah, totally. And just to sort of encapsulate what I was saying before, like the body is the earth, is its environment, is everything. So just like you have control over your arms and your fingers, you have a type of control. It's not really control, it's not domination, it's not power, but the trees and the wind and the clouds and everything that you see around you is as much a part of you as your body. Your body is sort of the medium which you're working through as a personification of spirit, but everything is you. And if you form a relationship with it, and that's the key, is relationship. If you form a connection, a conscious relationship with nature, with the trees, with your environment, you can work with it. I'm not telling everybody to go pull down storms and low pressure systems and stuff, or whip up tornadoes or whatnot, but it's possible, and that's the cool thing. So yeah, say when you're in the shower, really anything that gets you into your body, if you've never moved energy through your body, just pay attention pay attention to where you're most often aware of your body. For a lot of people, it tends to be their hands, because we work with our hands, we do a lot of stuff with our hands. And a lot of people know about Reiki or about energy healing or sending energy, or they may have played with making chi balls and stuff like that. But a lot of people haven't experienced, say if you are in the shower and you're feeling the energy in your hands or making a chi ball, just notice that if you breathe in that chi ball, or if you just get your hands nice and charged up and you start to put your attention there and drag it, trace it up your arm and into your heart, and really feel the heart and feel that energy. In Chinese, it would be like the yi and the qi, the yi, the mental focus, and the qi, which is the energy. Your mental focus, like everybody knows the saying pretty much in the conscious community, where attention goes, energy flows. And that can be used in so many ways that most people don't recognize and think about. And this seems, what I'm saying here, what I'm going to say, seems really simple. It sounds redundantly simple, but the effects of it are just so profound. So when you drag your awareness up your arm and into your heart, you can first of all notice if there's resistance. You can identify blocks in your body. You can be like, oh, I have a hard time getting it, I have a hard time feeling my wrist, even though I can feel my hand like buzzing insanely. So you've obviously got to work on your wrist a little bit, feel your wrist, move your wrist, animate it from the inside out. It's literally how we awaken the body, how we become the bridge, is by opening ourselves, feeling ourselves open. And it's always weird saying that, feel yourself open. Not as in you are feeling yourself open, but you feel yourself open. You feel it open. You feel your heart open. You don't just have it open and go, oh my God, you felt something. that caused yourself to open physiologically. Your fascia and your muscle tissue and everything else opens when you feel it open. So just the same, the wrist, the elbow, the heart, your chakras, your dantians, the earth itself, the weather, you can feel something open. And it still feels weird to say that, but you can feel anything open. And open causes movement. Movement is flow of energy, and flow of energy is healthy when we get rid of blockages and stagnation and old beliefs. Mm-hmm. So using, say, shower time to notice where you can't feel in your body. And that has a huge implication on not only, your health, because obviously there's not a lot of energy flowing there, there's not a lot of blood flowing there, there's not a lot of cellular activity there. There's not enough life there for it to function entirely properly. And when you feel your body, you can begin to make it live again. When you feel, you reveal, and when you reveal, you heal. You can feel life into your body. And a lot of people get stuck with like emotional patterns and all types of things like that. And a lot of the time, we just don't recognize that emotions, energy motion is just how energy is moving through our bodies. And if you've looked into Taoism and Qigong and Chinese medicine, the 5 elements, you might know that the organs relate to the elements, which relate to emotions. So if you're really angry all the time and you scan your body, you feel your body, you'll notice that there might be tension on your right side, that your liver is sort of hard and stagnant feeling. So if you feel, and just maybe you can massage or you can touch or you can send Reiki or you can do whatever you want, but if you move into your body and start to allow that energy to move you and allow your mental awareness to sink deeper and deeper and deeper, you can begin to feel your organs just like you would feel your hands, and even just as powerfully. And that's how we gain vitality, and that's what energy cultivation is about getting rid of what's in the way, emptying our cup, emptying ourselves of old stagnant emotions and beliefs and stuff, and allowing life to fill us. And we become animated with this life force, and we become more and more clear-minded. We become more and more emotionally balanced. We become more and more, powerful, for the sake of the word. I don't really like that word, but we become, we radiate life. We literally begin to become like an orgone generator, like a life force generator. And the more that we do so, the less that we're affected by everything around us. Like a lot of people, they get into, the conscious community, or they look into spirituality, or they start watching videos on YouTube, and they become, aware of the fact that they're empathic. And sometimes what I really dig into and what I teach people in sessions that I do is effective empathy, which most people haven't used or heard that term, effective empathy. Most people use empathy as an excuse. They're like, oh, I'm so sensitive, or just when people are mad, I feel it so much, and sometimes I react to it and I can't control it because I'm just so empathic, which is cool, and that's good that you're aware of it. You're aware of your feelings. But if you feel deep enough into yourself and really begin to radiate your life force, to be the beacon of light that you are, you begin to mold your reality. You begin to affect everything else instead of everything affecting you. And most people know that at, some level, if you have, control over yourself, you influence everything else around you. So you become able to feel other people's emotions, other people's bodies, other people's, circumstances, how they're affecting everything, and how they feel. You can feel without it affecting you. You can actually feel into it so much that you will actually begin to restructure that field, that environment, and begin to actually heal the issue instead of being affected by it and reacting to it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Am I on topic still, or what's going on?
Oh man, it's all branching back to source, so it's all good. Right?
Cool.
No, that's good, man. I mean, yeah, I just brought up a couple things that I did want to mention, and before I do that, I will say that for anybody who's tuned into live chat, of course, this is an excellent opportunity for us as visionaries to be able to connect with each other. So for anybody in the live chat, as per usual, please feel free to post your Facebook profiles or any other websites that connect you to the stuff that you're involved with, and invite people to connect with you through the community that we have here. And yeah, just feel free to do that, and post some 1111s if you're getting some insight out of this information that we're bringing up here tonight. Thanks to Jordan. And what I was going to mention, because this is actually part of the reason why I was sharing the story that I had with Infected Mushroom earlier on the group, and I will say we're going to bring on that next caller just in the next minute. But what I was going to say is that when I was there's one girl, and she's incredibly beautiful, and she's really involved with our conscious community. She like teaches yoga and everything, and I've worked with her in the past a bunch, and she had a selenite crystal that she was carrying with her, and then earlier in the night, like, she came up to me, and like, we could barely even hear each other, but like, she pulled out the selenite crystal, and then she like held it up to my brow chakra, so like right in between my eyebrows, and then like I closed my eyes and I was within the moment, and then like within the moment of like that crystal being there, like there was a definite visceral experience that I had where like it felt like kind of being pulled through a tunnel, like kind of like there was a sensation of movement, yet there was no physical movement. It was like hyperdimensional movement sort of thing. And it was really cool, and it was really interesting. And then later on in the night, I like did it with her again, and I sort of like queued it up, and I took like a few more breaths there than last time. And it was just a really neat experience, and it actually prompted me to actually go out and buy a selenite crystal for myself. And this is just kind of sharing something that I'm doing, and I encourage anybody else to try doing this too. Selenite, very interesting crystal, and very unique in the sense that it's so fragile, which is part of its characteristic. But I picked up a selenite crystal that I've been practicing as I fall asleep. It has a flat surface, and I've just been laying it on my forehead as I fall asleep, but kind of as an experiment, but also with the intention that it's kind of like opening up my brow chakra to like additional experience to be able to come through and be able to help like expand my dream experience in some way or another. But I mean, yeah, no, that was just something cool that I just wanted to be able to share with you guys, maybe get some ideas rolling for anybody else who feels that they want to try something similar. I mean, even the idea of crystals, I mean, Jordan, I'm sure you're fairly receptive to crystals. Like, do you notice that if you were to take a crystal and like hold it up to your brow chakra, like, do you notice a sensation coming out about that? And maybe just a quick response, and then we'll bring on our caller from area code 403. Where do you see sort of, how would you explain crystals, and what would you recommend the use of them for somebody's practice? Because I mean, I think with a lot of what you're doing, what you're talking about, the idea of feeling being the key to being able to open up and remove some of the blockages, I think crystals can be a very useful tool to be able to help us experience those sensations of feeling. What do you think?
Yeah, well, they're definitely great tools. I think that there's some things that are spoken on about crystals that I don't quite agree with, but there's a lot to them, obviously. Obviously, you know, quartz silica is used in computers. It has an obvious effect. I personally do feel a lot. That's kind of what got me into really feeling and playing with energy, other than playing with, you know, energy and chi balls and stuff like that, and beginning to do qigong years ago. Experiencing, you know, holding quartz crystals up to my head and all that stuff, that has definitely been a big part of my experience in becoming more and more sensitive to energy. And I think that's one of the great uses that they have, is in teaching people what energy feels like.
Right.
And they obviously do all have different effects, and you know, for cleaning up your environment and using them to balance out, you know, EMF radiation and all sorts of stuff like that, very, very important to do, as well as having plants around and stuff like that. So there's like a natural tendency to be drawn to them, of course, because people know and feel intuitively that they're doing something good for them. There are, I think, a lot of things about crystals that people don't recognize, like, if you say, clearing crystals, very, very important, because there's a lot of stuff that can hang around crystals that I've felt in the past and stuff people just have to be very, very conscious about when they get crystals or when they're given crystals and stuff like that, that it's either a clear crystal, like a crystal that clears energy and that is clear in itself, and especially quartz and certain other gems and crystals. You got to make sure that you clear them, or else they can actually be potentially harmful in some ways. The energy that I can kind of compare it to, like, if the sun does this polar shift thing, and if energy that is flowing through the planet and through us amps up and amps up and amps up and gets more and more powerful, we have to step up our openness and get everything that is within us that, you know, isn't really resonating with us. We have to get it out, or else it will start to sort of short circuit in a way, and that can cause us harm. In the past, years and years ago, as just an example of what I mean, I started doing a lot of really heavy energy work before I got into a lot more of Qigong, and had certain mentors and teachers that taught me a lot about clearing myself properly and really properly grounding myself. And I did a lot of energy work where I was just intuitively feeling things, and the things that I was doing had great effects on other people and on the environment, but I was almost short-circuiting myself. I was experiencing like pains in my body, or all of a sudden becoming extremely stiff or jolting, or having some sort of weird, just feeling sick all of a sudden when there's no physical attribute to it. So purifying our environment and purifying ourselves and knowing what you're working with. And in the way of crystals, if you're going to, say, stick a crystal up to your forehead, do a little bit of tapping, a little bit of rubbing, a little bit of clearing. If you have a huge blockage in your brow, in your third eye, whatever you want to call it, and then you go stick a huge quartz crystal up to it or something like that, you can potentially cause a little bit of damage, like a short circuit, because there's so much energy all of a sudden flowing through that space that it can't handle it, especially with the third eye area, because it is such a sensitive area. A lot of what I teach people and share with people when they get into energy experiences and spirituality and stuff like that is that they'll look into a lot of the Hindu stuff, or a lot of the Hindu-esque New Age stuff and Kundalini energy and all that type of thing, and they want the third eye open. They want all the energy up to the head, and there's a lot of talk about moving sexual energy up into the head, and there's of course a lot to that, but it has to be done safely. Most people don't know that you can potentially damage yourself and your brain and your spine and your nervous system by forcing yourself to do something before you're open enough, before you're ready. And I would highly recommend people, you can play around with crystals and feel the energy, and that's all nice and stuff, but to be just, cautious. If you can really intensely feel something to the point where it feels like your head is like imploding or about to explode, that's cool that you can feel that, but it might not be good to sleep with that crystal like right under your pillow next 6 months or something like that. You might want to put that crystal down below your bed under your feet about 4 feet away or something, so that it's grounding you as opposed to pulling all of your focus in your center and your energy up into your head. I always recommend to people that they get in touch with their lower Dantian, with their center of gravity, with their hips and legs and their physical body before, and of course the heart and your body in general. Really, that's what yoga and stretching, that's all good for, is opening the body, getting it limber and energetically smooth enough and flowing enough to allow a large amount of energy to flow through it. I've intuitively known how to move a lot of energy just right away when I started working with it, and that almost caused me physical harm. So I definitely recommend, before people go doing a lot of crazy energy work, or putting a big piece of organite under their pillow or something like that, that they really work with that energy in a very subtle and very physical way for a good while, until they feel open enough to it's like you got to be clear and open before that amount of energy is going to tune you in the right way. because that's what crystals want to do. It's not just about the feeling of the energy that they're, that you can go, oh wow, I really feel this, that's cool. But they want to tune your energy to a certain frequency in order to do something. But if you're not open, or if you're really stuck, if you're really, solidly stuck inside yourself, that kind of energy forcing you to tune in a certain way isn't really going to be helpful for you at that time.
Yeah.
So just look into those types of things and really open yourself, and physically work with your body and opening your energy up and stuff like that.
Yeah, I think that's a really interesting sort of thing that we are sort of seeing within the quote-unquote spiritual community, is this idea of people wanting to shortcut their way to enlightenment, so to speak. You see all these videos, just like here's a 5-minute video about how to open up your third eye sort of thing, but neglecting the work and the idea that it begins at the root. It begins like from the bottom, and we slowly work our way up sort of thing. So, not to get, we can't get into that, but I do want to bring a caller on, just to be able to bring more people in this conversation, but just to bring that circle to a close, at least, just what we were talking about crystals. Just very, very quickly, what are some quick tips for people to be able to cleanse a crystal before being able to use it in their practice that you would recommend?
The main thing that I do, if I'm not smudging it with sage or Palo Santo or essential oils, somebody just said salt or salt water, that works well. Essential oils or other plants, I find works amazingly. I work a lot with plants. I actually use some plants in the way that some people use crystals, which, if you look into Wicca and stuff like that, certain types of magic people do that more often. But especially Palo Santo or sage or something like that, you can use that to clear yourself just by touching it, or just by working with it like a crystal, working with the energy. But also your intention, just breathing on it with an anchored intention of clearing it. When you can kind of see and feel more and more, you can, or you can just kind of visualize when you're holding, say, a quartz crystal. There are layers of energy coming off of that. It can be programmed at a very surface level sort of area, or a deeper area, level, or deeper level, right down to the sort of 0 point of the crystal. You want to tap into that 0 point of the crystal and clear it from the inside out, just like you would animate your body, like I was talking about, feeling deeply into your body and bringing life into it, expanding your energy from the inside out and feeling it flood through you and open up your fascia and your nerves and your muscles. You can do the same thing with a crystal. You want to get right to the core of it, and you can use any sort of incense, sage, salt water, your breath as or essential oils. I love essential oils because they kind of balance and harmonize the crystal's energy very well.
Cool.
And any of those ways are good.
Yeah, and things like moonlight and stuff like that is
yes,
other one here.
Certain crystals.
Yeah. Cool. All right. Well, hopefully, people listening to this be able to take that and be able to apply it to whatever it is that you're doing on your path, and be able to open yourself up to those experiences, and most importantly, be able to do it intelligently and safely, and to not be in a rush when you're doing it, just be able to accept whatever experiences may come your way. And you're definitely, no matter what you do, you are making progress, just as long as you're doing something. So just stay with it, and just check back in with us if you ever have any other questions. A person like Jordan is a great person to ask. And of course, you can find him on Facebook at jordan.lavigne8, and I just posted that in the live chat, and I'll post it into the show notes as well. And of course, consciousalchemy.wordpress.com, you can find out more of his stuff, including his YouTube videos. And Jordan, if you are able to stick around for a bit, I would love if we could close this off with a meditation that maybe you might be able to lead us through, like a grounding meditation of some sort. Is that an idea what do you think, would that float with you?
Yeah, totally. Is that you do it like halfway through the show, or?
We'll do it within the last 10 minutes of the show, actually, to sort of end the show out on. But just as long as if you're able to stay around, then I would love to do that while we got you here. I think that would really, really make an awesome episode of this. So.
Yeah, sure.
Cool, wonderful. And of course, tell Leia we say hello. I'm not sure. Are you guys in the same spot right now?
No, she's chill. Yeah, she's in another room, but I'll say hi.
Oh, well, okay, well, she is, like, in the same household then. Okay, so, yeah, no, shout out to Leia, and, I mean, that's a whole conversation there. I can ask you all sorts of things about what it's like to be able to help bring a new little human being into this world, and that's, maybe we'll have to do a follow-up episode on that, but, shit, yeah, no, that's awesome, and congratulations, of course, man, congratulations, that's wonderful for both of you, very happy for both of you, so, yeah. And we'll bring on the next caller here, and we'll continue the conversation. And, of course, if anybody else wants to call in, please feel free to call in. Or if you are in the queue, then just press 1 on the keypad, and we'll queue you up. So right now we're going to bring on caller from area code 403, and we'll be bringing you onto the air. So caller from area code 403, if you're ready, we'll bring you on to Paradigm Shift Radio now. Here we go.
And I'm making $20 for tonight. Well, I know, but I think... A little nugget of bid, so I can smoke it with the guy, and that way he can buy the other shit.
Hello, caller. Can you hear us? Sounds like we're in
a
personal conversation right now. Caller, are you there?
Sorry, we were in the middle of a conversation there. How's it going, buddy?
Sorry. going good. I hope we're not interrupting anything. Is this all good on your end? Oh, okay, all right. So that caller actually dropped. So if they want to call back, they're more than welcome to call back. But yeah, no, it sounds like they weren't totally ready to be brought on there. So, but anyways, so anyway, we got 2 other callers on the queue. Caller from area code 623. I think I saw you queued up earlier. If you want to be brought on, just queue us. Press 1 on the keypad to get queued up now. But yeah, maybe, I mean, just while we got the time, maybe just backstepping a bit. Jordan, I mean, if that's something that you are comfortable talking about, like, what is that experience like for you, the idea of being a father, and just a little bit, I mean, just, and even just to plug Leia and the wonderful work that she is doing as well.
Yeah, totally. Well, holy crap, what amazing. It's just really mind blowing to recognize that we are all sort of able, like the woman is able to, you know, obviously the man has something to do with it, a lot to do with it, but we're able to like develop, you know, fractally develop another being inside of ourselves. It's really just blows my mind. It always really has, and yeah, it's really interesting the sort of shifts and change. It really does accelerate your growth and your intuitiveness and your feeling. You become so much more grounded if you're in full acceptance of it.
Mm-hmm.
Something that I've really recognized is just like the mother starts going through all these hormonal shifts and changes, and their energy shifts, and you do become much more grounded, and you open in so many ways. Same thing happens for the father. You know, if they're in full acceptance and really connected to the situation, that same thing happens. Like your psychology and the way that you think about things really does shift. It's pretty cool. Just, you know, as an example, like the whole physiological impulse of protection. It's so interesting. You know, Leia would go out somewhere for even like 5 minutes or something, and even though in you know, in my mind, and you know, I know everything's okay, there's nothing bad happening, but there's like a physiological impulse inside of me, like this pulling sensation. I'm like, oh my god, like I need to be with her. I need to be there protecting her or something like that. And it's just this really interesting thing to observe. Especially being, I was apart from her for a couple weeks, and it was just insane. Like, just, I'd be meditating and noticing, just all of a sudden, like I feel like this pull inside of me, like, oh my gosh, something's happening. And I go check on Facebook for a message from Leia, and she said that she tripped and fell. And
oh, no.
I was right around that moment, I'm like, oh, like my body just feels, oh my gosh, there's something going on, you know, and she's perfectly fine and whatnot, but it's like, it's like that connection, that feeling is just so amplified. It's intense. It's a crazy experience. Really cool.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, going back to what you were talking about, the idea of feeling, the idea of, like, even within a relationship, that is something that we open ourselves up to, is the experience of feeling not only our own self, but the connection that we share with another person. And as we spend time with them, like, their energy, like, starts to, like, mold into ours, and we exchange our energy with theirs. And it really does tie in with this idea of non-locality and yeah, just a very etheric bond that is is connected and strengthened over time. It almost has like its own like fascia, its own like neural networking that is like strengthening itself like as the relationship continues to build. And no, I just think that that's an amazing thing that you guys have been blessed with such a wonderful experience, and I'm incredibly happy for you. And of course, for people who aren't totally familiar with what we're talking about, Leia is I mean, back in the day, I mean, looking back on where we were then and where we are now, like Leia and Jordan were two different people on two different sides of the world, both in Canada. And Leia, very popular with her YouTube channel as well, which I'll post into the show links, and it is in the live chat right now. And a lot of people are quite familiar with her. And no, I even remember, I mean, me and you were chatting back in the day, and even when you guys like synchronistically how she just like ended up hanging out in Barrie and you guys were just hanging out, and then one thing led to another, and it seems like it was sort of, I mean, quick question, like, do you feel, I mean, what are your idea on like quote unquote like soulmates, so to speak? And I will just say that we do have caller from area code 623, so after this response we'll bring that caller back onto the air. But I mean, yeah, like something like the bond that you share with Leia, I mean, how has it sort of shifted your paradigm? Like, how is this relationship so different from perhaps like some of the past relationships that you might have had up to that point?
Well, it's definitely like I definitely resonate with people sort of being soulmates. I don't really use that term a lot.
Right. Yeah.
I've never really been into the whole like twin flame.
Yeah, me neither.
Go ahead. It seems to denote separation right off the bat, like a soul was separated from itself.
Yeah,
like,
lack of wholeness.
I'm like, what the heck's going on there? But yeah, it's just really interesting because in relationships, it's like that person is the perfect element for your growth. And whether it's, short term, long term, whatever it is, if you're fully open to the experience and you make it clear to yourself and the other person that it's like, this is who I am and this is the way that I'm growing and this is where, I want to go and this is what I feel and this is, the way that I think, and, everything seems to resonate. A lot of people get into relationships and it's mainly the physical attraction, or it's mainly just one aspect of it or a couple aspects of it that cause them to want to continue that relationship. But when things really begin to resonate, and it's not like the two people have to have, everything similar, everything in common, and be like the same person but male and female. That's what a lot of people tend to think with the twin flame thing. I don't think it's quite about that. Some people are really alike, or some people seem like they're complete opposites, yet they complement each other. But it's really in that complementing of someone else's energy. It's like the perfect meditation. It's the perfect. The person just shows you everything about yourself that you want to be able to change or shift or grow, or I made a video quite a while back called The Alchemy of Conscious Relationships, which is where no matter what the relationship is, it could be your mom or your dad and you, it could be another person and you, it could be your brothers and sisters, but they are going to show you everything about yourself that you either really love or you really hate, and it's about taking that all and diving into the core of yourself and recognizing that all these your insecurities and all that stuff that you may love or hate, it all sort of falls away in tuning in with yourself and with that other person more and more and more. And it's just an infinite journey. Every relationship where the two people are in full acceptance of it is an infinite journey. Like, I like the sort of analogy that you said, that a relationship sort of has its own fascia, its own sort of binding starts being created as you deepen the relationship, and that really resonates with me. It's like you're almost creating, like we're creating a being right now, which is really cool. But it's like you become more than who you are, and that's the sort of the journey that we all go through meditation and through self-actualization and personal development. You're trying to really become more of who you are. Like, even if you don't recognize that, you're becoming more of who you are. You're recognizing and remembering yourself. And that other person, because there's that resonance there, it's like every moment spent with them, you're discovering more of yourself through them and through the relationship. It's a powerful thing, most definitely.
Yeah, definitely. Cool, man. Well, I know there's more that we can talk about there, but let's open up the line to the caller who's been patiently waiting. And caller from area code 623, thank you so much for your patience, and we're going to be bringing you onto the air here, and we'll continue this conversation, and we'll see whatever they want to bring into the circle. That's totally cool, and we'll go from there. So, caller from area code 623, bringing you on to Paradigm Shift Radio. Here we go. Hello, caller, can you hear us?
Is that me?
Yes, it is, caller.
Hey, Brendon, it's Diane.
Sorry, who is it?
Diane from Phoenix, the Buttoneer.
Yes, Diane. Awesome. Diane, welcome to the show.
Yeah, we've been in touch. How you doing tonight?
Doing pretty good. I mean, I'm really, really enjoying the topics and the conversation that has been coming up. So, Diane,
this is a great call tonight.
It is. I agree. So, what would you like to... Sorry, what would you like to bring to the show tonight, then?
I just want to say, you know what? Aside from this awesome call tonight, I want to say, being a Buttoneer, it has brought so many people together. It's amazing.
I'm glad to hear.
I mean, I go out with I put buttons on the inside of my jacket, and people think I'm flashing them. So, like, what are you doing? It's hilarious. I'm not kidding you. It's funny. I put them on the inside of my jacket, and I go out to the bar or whatever, and I'm like, hey, you want a button? And they're like, what? Are you kidding me? And I'm like, yeah. I know, I'm not kidding you. I say, you want a button? And they look, and they pick one off. I'm like, pick it off. Here you go. And it's great. And I've met some awesome people. I just have to share that. I mean, it's awesome. It's just awesome. Thank you so much for doing what you do, and I am so grateful to be a Buttoneer.
I'm so happy.
And I'm hoping to have some more time soon to do a paradigm shift community here. Awesome. I really want to do that.
And remind people, whereabouts are you right now? Because you can always, for anybody listening, this would be a good chance to get in contact with each other.
Oh, I'm in Phoenix, Arizona. I'm a vegan. I'm part of meetup.com. If people are interested in meetup.com, it's an amazing community as well. And I've gone to meetups and shared buttons, and people are like, what? Buttons? Okay, yeah, I'll take them. It's just so much fun. It's just so much fun.
Oh, well, Diane, I'm so glad that you called in to share, and it's just a great shift button testimonial right there. And you were saying, because I know you specifically ordered a bunch of shift buttons to take with you when you went to Vegas, and I'm sure you had a blast when you did that.
I did.
Yeah. Any cool stories in particular?
Going up and down the strip with my jacket going, you want a button? You want a button? Yes. That was fun. That whole order went really fast. That's why I had to order some more. And thank you for the extras. I really appreciate it.
Oh, no problem. Happy to be able to get them to you. I know you're making good use of them. But yeah, like what sort of conversations did you get that come out of the when you share the buttons? I mean, are people asking like, what does this mean?
The most recent one that sticks in my mind is like a few nights ago. I just how you sense people, and I was at the local bar, and this couple was sitting there, 21, 22 years old, right? And I just could feel them. And so I went up to them, like, would you guys like a button? And they're like, what? I was like, yeah. And they're like, okay. And we started talking, and it turns out they're into energy work, they're into spirituality, and they're into all this kind of stuff that we're talking about. I'm like, that is awesome. They're like, there's no coincidence that I met them, and the buttons brought us together.
Perfect. Well, there you go, people. For everyone listening, if you needed more proof as to the fact that buttons are an incredibly useful tool for all of us shifters to be able to use to connect with others where we are, then thank you so much to Diane for sharing that story with us. And I will just say, for anybody who wants to get in on that raffle draw, send a message to facebook.com/ParadigmShiftRadio. We'll be doing that after, or actually we might be doing that pretty soon. We might be doing it before the meditation meditation. That way, so we don't have our minds sort of distracted by that, and we'll be able to get some additional names added to the draw. And of course, GoFundMe.com/ParadigmShiftCentral. If somebody wants to send in a last-minute donation, then we'll do 3 draws tonight, and we'll give three chances for free shift buttons tonight. But right now, as it is, we're giving away two batches of shift buttons, which is still an awesome opportunity for everybody out there. So, Diane, was there anything else? Just in the conversation that we've been having with Jordan, was there anything else that you wanted to maybe just ask either myself or Jordan, or any sort of thoughts that you want to share in general?
Yes, pay it forward. Give. Just give. If you have a few cents, it's people that are sunning their bells. Give them a few cents. Just pay it forward.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Cool.
Give somebody a hug. I ordered some free hug shirts before I went to Vegas. Also, I wear them every now and then. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
It's all about the smile. Cool. No, that's a very good thing.
Give everybody a smile. Indeed, absolutely.
Yeah. Jordan, what do you think about some of the practical things that we can do when we're sort of out in public to be able to help bring more love into this world? Is there anything that you sort of consciously do when you're out in public?
Oh yeah, definitely. If I told most people when I'm in public, they'd think I was
crazy.
Yeah,
I hear that.
Yeah. But other than sharing material things, these buttons are an amazing idea, a good way to promote the connection and community where you are. Smiling, even just smiling. Wow.
Smiling is huge.
Yeah, totally. And there's a technique that I practice for years in Qigong called the inner smile, which is smiling internally, which you can.
With your eyes.
And if you can do that.
I don't mean to interrupt.
Oh, it's all good. But when you can do that internally and really feel into yourself, and if you know how to do, attune people and just tune their energy and bring them energy and smile into them, a lot of the time I'll be seeing into people when they're walking by or when I'm just sitting around somewhere. And if I notice that somebody needs something that I can give to them energetically, then I'll give it to them. If I can bring down a little energy, if I can ground them a little bit, or if I can just even smile into them and see the way that I see things, I can see their field expand a little bit, and I'll notice that they seemed angry before, they'll kind of tone down, or if they seemed glum and just sorrowful before, they'll kind of all of a sudden they'll just look at something around them or notice, how much good there is around them and how wonderful and beautiful life is. So it's great, even on just an energetic, very subtle level. There's a lot that you can do. There's a lot of stuff like that.
Yeah, Diane, anything you want to add? Go ahead.
If they're open to it, hug them.
Yeah,
that's great.
Yeah,
I send hugs to all of you guys. You guys are awesome. Thank
virtual
you.
hug. Yeah, virtual hugs and virtual smiles. Those work too.
Yeah.
So.
Yep.
Emoticons can go a long way. Yeah. Definitely. But yeah, no, I think it's a cool thing to be able to practice expressing ourselves and intentionally trying to connect with each other when we're out in public, even if we don't have shift buttons, obviously. Because it's our societal default to just go on a bus and put on our headphones and close ourselves in, sort of thing. But is it really that scary to sit down next to a stranger in a bus and just spark up a conversation, just be hey, can I ask you a question? What do you I don't know, I guess we can sort of brainstorm on that. What would be a good way to spark up a conversation with a stranger on a bus? Jordan or Diane, what do you guys think? What would be a good question that you might be able to ask them?
Spark is
what's your energy like today? They'd be
again,
what? How are your energy today? People don't necessarily get asked that question very often,
Yeah.
Yeah, anything to sort of throw a positive curveball into their day is amazing.
Indeed.
Yeah, Jake Ducey, a lot of you guys know Jake Ducey. He kind of says in one of his videos, it's what was the best part of your day? What was the best part of your day today? And just say over the smile, or what's the most beautiful part of your life right now? And that just, even if the person doesn't even know, they're just wow, somebody just asked me that.
Yeah, sometimes it throws them like so out of whack. They're like, what?
Yeah, totally.
Actually, I kind of got an idea that just came to mind. Like if you're like sitting down next to someone, or if you're like standing at a bus stop, a good way to spark up a conversation is just like go up to them and just be like, hey, excuse me, can I interest you in a free smile? And they'll just be like, wait, what? And then you just like smile at them. And they're just like, and then they'll smile and they'll just be like, what? Like what the hell was that about? But then you just be like,
totally.
Oh, you know,
pass along.
I think that's kind of shit. Yeah, pass it forward. Yeah, and then if you're Diane, just flash open your jacket. That's right, yeah.
That's my jacket. There's some buttons and a free hug shirt.
Yeah, that's just leveling up right there, yeah. Just gearing up. Cool. All right, well, we got about 14 minutes left on the show. There's no other callers who are queued in right now, and I did put out a last call for people to enter the button draw. Send a message to facebook.com/ParadigmShiftRadio. Literally, you only got like 1 minute left, and then we'll do this button draw. And then from there, let's move into a meditation. And Jordan, I would really just open you up to whatever it is you want to do, and we'll play some background music behind you, and so you can just sort of like verbally walk us through any sort of like what, maybe just explain to us what sort of meditation do you feel we would be worthwhile for us to do tonight. And I guess also keeping in theme that, of course, it's almost Christmas, so I mean, just reconnecting with ideas of family and community, and the fact that like we here as a Paradigm Shift community and everybody listening, like this is a community, this is a family, like the family of Earth, of humans in general. So I mean, yeah, just blessings and awesome vibes to everybody who is tuned into this show now and in the future alike. But yeah, Jordan, what meditation wise, what do you feel you can bring to this opportunity?
Well, going with the Christ Mass, we can Christ being the living light, we can amass the living light within ourselves, community being connection and being of the holiday spirit. Like I can go through a little bit of physical relaxation, just opening the body up as a community of cells that it is, and connecting our hearts and our bodies, our spirits to every other person, every other heart, the heart of the earth, the heart of the sun, and opening, expanding, basically just connecting our light to the community of these beacons of light that we are. I'll basically go through a little guided process.
Yeah, that sounds good. I mean, one thing with meditation, someone sort of had to remind me of this, but meditation it's a very important practice to be able to embody a lot of the stuff that we're talking about. So, I mean, there's a lot of information that came our way and everything tonight. So a meditation practice can be a good chance to really sort of just like take it in and I mean, when I think of like even just like tapping the body gently, tapping the different energy locations, like maybe we could do that, Jordan. Maybe you can sort of like lead us through what you were talking about earlier, like visualizing a chi ball and kind of moving it throughout our body. Maybe we can sort of work a little bit of that into it. But I mean, whatever creatively, whatever you're feeling, I'm sure it'll all work out. But with that said, we'll move into the draw for the shift buttons for this episode. So right now we have $72 raised in the Paradigm Shift Central GoFundMe account, which is super awesome. A big shout out to everybody. And for this week, we'll be doing 2 draws. So I got all the names in front of me right now, and of course, if you would like to contribute, please continue to contribute to be able to support this program and to be able to get more buttons out there to the people in the community so that they can connect with others where they are and just have a wonderful, awesome, excellent, exciting time. I mean, you heard how excited Diane was, so we want more people to be that excited. So, all right, so guys, just join me. We'll just do like a collective Om real quick as we draw the first name. So, all right, so just quick Om. So, and the universe has chosen the first winner of the free shift buttons. Kevin is the first free winner of the shift buttons, and I know he's going to be pretty excited about that. And that is Kevin. I think it's Kevin Gray. I think his name is. I should have pulled it up real quick. Yeah, it is Kevin. So awesome, Kevin Gray. I know he was working pretty hard on manifesting those. He like literally wrote in the description. He's like, "Come on, Cosmos." So, all right. So next person pulling out the name of the shift draw, and of course, thank you to everybody who contributes to this project. You are helping make this happen. So next person to win for this week's free shift buttons draw is is Fred. Sweet. So let's see, which Fred is that? Let me just double check in the names that we got. That is, yeah, Frederick Fabian is what we got. So yep, awesome. So I'm going to make sure that I contact those people and they'll get the information. So congratulations to Kevin and Fred. You guys won the free shift buttons for this week. And of course, stay tuned for future episodes of Paradigm Shift Radio to get involved with more opportunities to win epic shift buttons. So from there, let's move into our meditation. Now that we got the button stuff out of the way, we can relax and we can really just use this opportunity to connect, embody, and just reflect on how awesome it is to be alive and to be on this adventure right now. So, Diane, I'm gonna mute you. We'll bring you back after the meditation, if that's cool with you, and we'll let Jordan sort of do his thing. So, Diane, thanks again for calling in and sharing what you had to share. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much. So, all right, okay. So, Diane, I'm just gonna mute you real quick, and Jordan, we're going to set you up here. So, that's weird. I'm still getting, like, extra feedback. Hold on. 1 second, Jordan. I'm just muting you real quick, but it's not... Okay, so that is some weird feedback on Jordan's, but whatever. It's not too bad. All right, so, Jordan, you're still with us?
Yep.
Okay, cool. All right, so let me just get the music. So, magic. All right, okay, cool. All right, so I got some music that we're going to play in the background. This is actually the same audio track that we played last week. For anybody who's interested in this audio track for the meditation, run a YouTube search on Merlin Magic Meditation, and you'll be able to find this in YouTube. And I'll post it into the show notes as well so that you can use this track again if you like it and enjoy it with your meditation. So, Jordan, with that said, I'm just going to really let you do this, and we got about 8 minutes, so let's keep this to about 6 or 7 minutes. And then, of course, we'll do an after-party hangout, but I'll need somebody else to host the after-party hangout, but we'll get that sorted out, and you'll find the link for that at facebook.com/ParadigmShiftRadio. But in the meantime, let's all get comfortable, get ready to relax, and thank you so much, Jordan, for being with us here tonight and being able to help guide us through our meditation. So I'm going to mute myself, and Jordan, it's all you from here, man.
All right. So, first of all, I just invite everybody to take a nice deep breath. Allowing yourself to drop into the body. Feeling the fingers and toes, the arms and legs. The trunk of the body, like the trunk of a tree. Allow yourself to recognize your connection to the earth. Feel the core of the earth just as you would feel your body. Recognize the earth is your body is the earth. And that your roots, your feeling, is sinking down into the core of the earth as you begin to feel it. So as you breathe inward, just allow yourself to feel the nutrition, the warmth, and the love rising up through you into the core of your body, into the belly, and into the heart, into your mind. Feel and see this light, this warmth rising up into you. And just as a tree, you are also connected to the cosmos, to the sun. Allow yourself to feel the sun. Maybe imagine that you're lying on a warm beach, walking through the forest on a warm day. Feel that warmth, that love from the sun. Maybe feel and imagine that feeling on your skin. Such comfort. Opens and allows you to relax and feel nurtured and loved. Now feel into the heart. And know that these two energies and all energy are moving into you, blending and absorbing, nurturing, healing. Feel the heart relax, feel the body relax. If you notice any tension, just feel it, breathe into it, allow it to relax. And now see and feel the heart beginning to expand. Connected firmly into the earth, allowing and feeling the warmth from the sun, the energy from the cosmos to enter and flood through you, flooding through the entire body, radiating out from you. Feel yourself expand, knowing your heart is connected to the hearts of all others, all connected to the earth and the sun, receiving that warmth, receiving that love. Even the trees and the animals, the plants, the minerals, the crystals, the ocean, all elements. Feel and see these energies are anchored and flowing through all life and expanding. Now all life on this planet, Gaia herself, expanding from its core. The life within everything expanding, moving, growing, resonating, filling your body more and more, filling the planet, radiating out from it, encompassing the sun, encompassing all other planets. Let yourself expand outward, feeling that expansion in the body. Allow yourself to expand outwards beyond the solar system, beyond the galaxy, encompassing the entire universe, the entire multiverse. All of existence can be felt. All of life can be felt as it is all within you. Recognize all of life as yourself. Feel the universe as yourself. Know the universe as yourself. Now, with an inward breath, allow all of that to come into your center, all of that life, the healing energy of the galaxy, the sun, the earth, all of the stars, the entire cosmos, flooding down, spiraling through the crown into the body, touching the third eye, flooding the throat, relaxing the chest, opening the heart, lighting up the solar plexus, sinking into the sacral and the root. All of that energy flooding into you, through you, around you, into the earth. The earth receiving this love, and all of the earth's love rising up through you and expanding into the cosmos. You are the bridge of love, of life. Just allow it to flow through you. sit with it. Know that anytime you feel your body, you can feel this.
Jordan, we're going live off the air in a second, so shout out to everybody who's tuned in with us, but we're going to wrap up this meditation in the post-recording. So Jordan, just continue here. We're not in a rush, and people will be able to hear this afterwards as well. So continue.
Yeah, if anybody wants to sit with this, just allow every breath to be the anchor for this energy. Allow the body to open, feel its opening. Allow it to be flooded completely with this energy. Feel the body completely. Feel the love of the earth, feel the love of the cosmos in your body. For by doing so, you are anchoring and radiating that love into yourself, into every cell, into every person, into your environment. And you are creating that environment around you and assisting the earth in its life, in its process, and in its growth. Love you all. Come back to this anytime. Come back to this as much as you can. Be the bridge. Be the love. Blessings.
Thank you, Jordan. It was awesome. Well, I'm glad this synced up here tonight, and usually how it seems to go. I mean, we could have theoretically planned this weeks ahead of time, but sometimes it's best to just do it in the moment.
Okay.
Cool, man. All right, so any last words for the people before we wrap this up and hit the outro music?
Feel your body. Feel your body. Feel your body. Feel your body. Don't let anything push you into your head. Guide yourself. Don't let anybody else's ideas about reality shape your own. Learn from them and form your own opinions about reality if you want. Feel into reality. Feel. It's all about feeling. Yeah. Radiate. Yeah. Radiate that love that you are. That's pretty much it.
Cool, man. Sweet. All right, so once again, for everybody listening, check out Jordan's stuff, Riff Shaman on YouTube and consciousalchemy.wordpress.com. All the links will be into the show notes. And yeah, just thank you so much for being here with us tonight, and blessings to you, Leia, and the little one. And yeah, looking forward to chatting with you again. So of course, for everybody listening, join us again next week for another exciting episode of Paradigm Shift Radio, and check out ParadigmShiftCentral.com. And of course, please share the latest Shiftivism video, and you can find that through the main website. And continue to spread the inspiration and work on yourself, and continue to make those ripples wherever you are, and be the change that you wish to see in the world. So, Jordan, join me in saying farewell to the internet. So, farewell, internet. Until next time. Goodbye, internet.
Bye.
Bye, internet. One love. See you in the future. Thanks. Thank you for listening to another episode of Paradigm Shift Radio. If you would like to connect with people where you are and continue the conversations further, then check out ParadigmShiftCentral.com/buttons to order your supply of shift buttons to share with people to help invite them to this global project, while also helping make new friends and building local community where you are. Shift buttons are tools to hack the matrix and tap into the synchronistic nature of reality to accelerate our collective awakening. Enter the promo code PSR into your order to receive additional bonus buttons to your supply. Thank you again, and one love.